Salutations and welcome back to our Minecraft video thing, adventure map. You know what it is, you know. Yeah, the audio, I didn't record my voice accidentally or something, so I'm gonna be voiceovering this whole thing. Trying it, it'll be interesting. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so on our way to the other village, retreating from the kingdom, trailblazing a path where all of the poor villagers may have survived. Most of them didn't. We find a bit of a villager outpost, and so we had to promptly deal with that. And so we were on our way, everything went well. I mean, they're just pillagers after all. It's not like they just razed an entire thing to the ground after all. But things started to look a bit dire, for this village we're trying to head to. You'll see. Oh yeah, it gets rough. Even still, we just push on across this rickety old bridge to make our way to the village. Of course, like any good adventure, we have to sleep through the night as not to encounter any other hostile mobs on top of the villagers. Eventually, however, we do manage to get to the village. We'd find that we are just about too late. Most of the villagers have been slain. We do make our way back to our original house as to set our spawn point and just kind of get a bearing, mourn the loss of the dead, before jumping straight back into combat. Some villagers did, however, survive, like the humble roof villager, living his days out on that roof. He's actually one of the only survivors, surprisingly. He then had the most intense encounter with the Ravager I think I've ever had. I mean, I think this guy even shot at me or something. I'm sorry, can we get a replay of that? He just shot at us. I didn't even know they could do that. Didn't stop me from killing him, of course. We then look around the village for any survivors or remaining enemies, only to find the way they got in. It is upon this moment that we realize it is time to find a new home for us and the villagers. The Hell Fort would be a good option, but we need a key. So we go to the one place we know makes keys. The first step is, of course, to make the key. To make the key, we must go to the mud dungeon. I don't remember exactly where the mud dungeon is, so we must head to the kingdom, to the old guild, through the compasses, find the location again. It's almost weird. Fitting that it would start to rain upon entering this forsaken place. This once vibrant plaza is now just full of mobs, wandering its streets endlessly, looking for their next kill, their next meal, another infection. We do, however, manage to find our old house, now littered and full of mobs. Undead villagers. There's no way to cure all of them. It's almost like the events happening now. We managed to rifle through the rest of our old supplies, the stuff we couldn't bring with us to the first village on our exiting. Creeper, of course, has to blow up while we're searching, so we have to bar off the door. So many of our ships are full of echoes. It's an active fight in the streets just to get to the old guild. The mobs are rampant in this city. Though we do manage to get there in mostly one piece. Makes me miss Pixie's editing prowess. I hope she made it to one of the other ships, to one of the other colonies. Perhaps it's just wishful thinking. With the guild no longer around, it wouldn't hurt to take this old book from that thief that we were looking for all that time ago. And we, of course, then find the mud dungeon. So, it is now time to montage over there. That same Enderman keeps showing up. It's almost like it's a sign at this point. I wonder if it does mean anything. We, of course, do make it to the mud dungeon, and it just feels different this time. As you'll see in a bit, all the spawners have been replaced with Vex spawners, but none of them spawn anything. It's too bright. It's just strange. You might be wondering what happened after that big battle with that Brethren Moon. We've decided that we're going to meet up with a few other colonies before figuring something out. We've kind of split into two groups at this point. People that have decided to just run forever, and the people that are going to actually fight back. I'm with the other group. I choose to fight. Upon reaching the old loot room, we find that it's been cleared, and there is kind of a plus symbol kind of thing of oxidized copper. Breaking it reveals another section of the dungeon that we didn't even find before. This one is not in fact made of mud, it's actually made of, well, it looks like a regular trial chamber actually. This should be the place. We do end up finding some machine, something. It's all mechanical redstone and wind power, I guess. This is the forge. Of course, being naturally curious, we have to inspect the entire thing. Just look at it, I guess. Figure out how it works. Of course, something eventually clicks, and we start to figure out the machine. And so, phase 2 begins. Now that we have the key, we shall storm the Hellforge. We're back. We have a small army of dogs. We used our combined resources from the past adventures of this series to fabricate some iron blocks. For iron golems, we have a few snow golems ready. We're ready to invade, take over, and move into the Hellfort, make it our own. Alas, and to our disappointment, turns out someone else has moved in. This time, it's not the Nether, it's the Necromancer. This will be a challenge. They've activated some sort of a rudimentary area of effect kind of firework launcher, as well as placing down quite a few freaking log things and filling the sentries with skeletons. The worst has yet to come, however, and unfortunately many of our dogs have been hit by the wither effect from all the roses and set on fire, as well as being shot at. We do manage to, however, find our old bed from the last time we came to this place, and through that stained glass, we get a sneak peek at an army of zombies. The Necromancer has helped themselves to the resources inside this place. Seems. The regenerator is, of course, still very much active, but as we will find out later, it does have a weakness. It is set on a timer, so it does not activate at night, presumably for the Necromancer to move their forces in and out. We of course then wait for it to turn dark enough for the regenerator to come offline. Of course then, we storm the Hellforge for the second time. Unfortunately, as you can see, our the first of our wolf army has fallen victim to the Necromancer's forces. However, we do have the golems still up our sleeve. It is nice to have full diamond armor for once, as opposed to whatever scraps we were able to find before. It is at this moment, of course, that we decide to bring out the iron golems, and eventually even the snow golems. Unfortunately, we know we must open this and fight all these extra mobs, because that is the way out of the hole. And if we can't get out without being stuck in them, then that's a problem. So they must go. We then make the choice to disable the cobblestone generator so that we can always access this place. We'll see if we end up restoring it later. The choice is made to then bring in some snow golems as well to help guard the surface. Unfortunately, a little bit of friendly fire on the wolf. And with that, it is time to ascend down into the first wave down, we decide to head into the next corridor and assemble a few extra golems to our aid. Also, it appears that the Necromancer knows my greatest weakness: Minecraft particle effects and my frame rate. But with that round of PC destroying frame rate aside, we then hit the button, put the key in, and open the door. Unfortunately, the downside with iron golems is that they turn on very easy if you accidentally hit them. Clearly, our enemies are confused that we made it this far, so they need a bit of encouragement to run into the fire. I decide to make a choice and sit the dog down so that they can at least survive, seeing that they are clearly the last one that has survived, and now they have lost their armor. It's a me. After burning away some of that brush, we are then under attack by wither skeletons. Of course, it has to be wither skeletons. But in a hallway like this, we are actually quite a good match. After dealing with those horrible wither skeletons, we go to the storage area first to clear that out and find more skeletons. Luckily, these ones don't have any effect arrows, otherwise we would not be having a good time frame rate wise. After dealing with the skeletons, we clean up a bit of the vines and enter the next little area, which I think is the personal quarters or something. Yeah. Set our spawn point and continue on our merry way. Of course, before we can continue on said merry way, we have to light this place up to prevent things like creepers from spawning. Next is the crafting and refinery area. Refinery? That's a word. Anywho, you know, same drill. Fight, kill, survive. After dealing with that mob, we're met with quite the nasty surprise. Opening the store. Mobs with effect arrows. Luckily, we are able to take out the majority of them with one well-placed shot. Once the refinery is cleared, we open the crafting area and are met with a daycare. This next part had me raging. This horrible, awful stairwell full of skeleton turrets with all the effect arrows they could ever want. This caused me hours of lag and waiting and just all sorts of unwanted complications. We have actually skipped ahead, because, yeah, no, all of the battle of that stairwell was just all lag and things not happening. It wasn't really that entertaining, so we're gonna skip that. So we've made it. We have reached the final bit of the Hellfort's underground complex, the farm areas. There's a lot less resistance here. There is resistance, of course, but not nearly as much. And the downside of having an army of undead fools is that they're all fools. They did go on top of the chicken farm, though, and I think they broke it as well. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We then make it, of course, to the crop area, the farm, the bread factory. And it is full of armored zombies. You know, we're even being ambushed by someone with lava, I guess. After finally taking care of all of the zombies in the bread factory, we finally make it to the old wool farm to find it infested with zombies. This is the last place to look. Hopefully our culprit will be here. We do, however, find that we have fallen right into a trap. This is where the necromancers have been hiding, and the moment we step in, zombies are risen from the ground. But that's no match for us. Hey, this is me, Hargenthal's Faithful. This video was incredibly scuffed, but I hope you ended up enjoying it. I don't plan on doing this kind of voiceover thing ever again. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that was me, and I shall see you next time.